Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We at it again. I got my guy here, Shannon, aka One Solo Boss of One. You can find him everywhere with that. It's me, Jake Fever, with at Money Grows on Trees Network. And yes, I'm on the Jake Fever podcast. Well, Bitcoin behind the bar. I like to talk about Bitcoin, and you know I got the bar and everything. So we just gonna put it all together. Bitcoin behind the bar, and we got a person that I believe is like me, man, a big time Bitcoin advocate. If y'all don't never met him before, we just gonna get in here. Y'all meet him again. I got Shannon in here, so some people know you, but some people don't. But it
How
is
y'all
what
doing, man? Yeah, Shannon already. You already know it's just a crypto entrepreneur, Bitcoin maximus, and we taking it to the levels. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna educate. We're gonna make sure that it's up to the community, and we're trying to educate the community to the most possible way of getting this money. You already know what time it is.
yeah. And we just gonna kick off a little bit. I normally don't even know if y'all know anything about why I like Bitcoin and why my philosophy is, and I always talk about Bitcoin so much. What's up, Jump Out Girls? Appreciate you popping in, showing some
Yeah,
love.
jump out, girls. Thank you for
Yeah,
popping in.
some of the few women that's in crypto and Bitcoin and women of color as well. They are some dope individuals. They got their own channel. Shout out to them. Y'all check them out whenever you can. But yeah, my philosophy on Bitcoin is actually. I was just telling Shannon the other day, well, yesterday, man. I'm kind of schizophrenic. It makes me kind of schizophrenic because I got a double personality. Because I be like, I tell everybody, "Hey, you should buy Bitcoin," because I have a reason for telling you. Because everything, all prices go down in Bitcoin terms. Like I know it's got volatility and everything, but prices go down. And when you don't have to stress it, if you're not out here ready to survive, like if you're not always trying to survive and make stuff happen, you can free your mind to think about different things. And I like that's why Bitcoin is my pretty much my way because I see a lot of freedom from that. You know, like it's like you can't tell nobody to do nothing if they ribs touching. Like they don't care. It's me or you. You know what I'm saying? But if you got some time to think about beyond right now, you could do a lot better things in your life and you can make different life decisions. But you can't make those decisions or make those moves if you're not really caring about what's going on, but you trying to feed yourself. You know that mentality is a tough mentality to get over, and you just can't tell people to invest in something or buy something or wait when they need to eat right now. You know what I'm saying?
When they need to eat right now, especially. But within that, I always refute or go to inflation, cost of living. And now the new thing that we see is tariffs. These things are going against us anyway. So your ribs touching, but at the same time, they're going to touch even closer if you don't put the necessary steps to fight against the inflation that's putting us in the position that we're in. I understand it at all times. But within our community, me and you both know that there's always excess money that's getting spent somewhere else. And me and you always put in what a dollar used to look like, 5 years ago. Just a dollar. So we're starting at a dollar. When your ribs touching, people still excuse a dollar. A dollar is the new 10 cent. Right now, we about to get rid of pennies. So within that, I have survivor's remorse. I'm gonna give them that crutch, and we're gonna find these ways almost to the point where no advertisements yet, but soon Gemini and you big other companies, we'll take these credit cards and get the rewards within Bitcoin. Take small steps, and within these small steps, get into loans, and we'll get into all of that. We'll get into all of that, but within it, we want to take our freedom and get our time back. If you have more purchasing power to get time back, you will make more not risky decisions, but you would make more time to do other things or invest in things or travel more or do things that make you happy. But
Yeah,
if you don't have,
live your dreams, man. Like, like I wanna walk through life where like I'm not dreaming no more. I'm just doing the things that I think in my head. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
I'll never dream again. Like I'll just do what I think in my head, and that's the
Yeah.
point. I want to have freedom, and I want my people that's right next to me and my friends that I grew up with to have that same freedom. So that's why I tell you I get kind of schizophrenic about it, double personality, because I want them to have the same feeling that I know I'm gonna have with what I'm doing. And yeah, I'm like I told you so, because $100,000, to be honest with you, is just the alarm clock to tell people, yeah, bro, you should have listened. You know what I'm saying? It's just showing you that, yeah, we told you the price is gonna go up and it's gonna continue to do that. But when would they get it? At a million, like 2 million? I don't know. When
They
people are
get it
really
once when
really
the banks and mainstream media allows them to, just like how we was introduced to Cash App, just like how we was introduced to PayPal, Venmo, just like how we was introduced to credit cards, digital banking. Once when the masses of the media and you're a consumer and they make you go into that realm, that's when the price will make it what it is. But until then, we'll see. We won't know what the price is. It might be 10 million, but then they'll start getting their units, or they'll start stacking up their bits.
yeah, I
You
seen you
like,
talk about I seen you talk about units lately on your IG. So
right,
you
right,
talk
right.
about so when you talk about stacking units, could you kind of like explain what you mean by that when you start
So
stacking units?
when we're talking about units, Satoshi goes back point 0.0000000
There's a lot
one.
of zeros.
It goes back seven zeros and one. So there's eight. It's supposed to be eight decimal places or eight whole numbers, and it goes backwards within that. Okay, the units. There's 100 million units in one Bitcoin. So the analogy would be $1 is 100 pennies, or 10 dimes. You know, within that, we're stacking units. You don't have to buy a full Bitcoin. A full Bitcoin is 100 grand. Where we come from, I don't know anybody that just have 100 grand sitting around, and they do. They're not telling me.
Yeah,
But within that, you could build yourself up to one Bitcoin, and that one Bitcoin will be worth 100 grand. But then you're following the appreciation of that coin as well, because there's only so many. It's only 21 million. But each of those 21 million is 100 million units. So in theory, if each unit becomes $1, one Bitcoin, you have $100 million.
yeah,
So we own and profit. So now we trying to stack our units bit by bit.
yeah, yeah. That's how you gotta do. You gotta take one step at a time. Cause how you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. You know what I'm saying?
At a time.
So yeah, I see what you said. You're trying to get people to not look at a Bitcoin like, okay, it's 100 racks. And only way I can get into it if I have $100,000. You trying to say, hey, you could put $1 into this thing, and you just want to stack your units and reach your goals. Set goals and reach them, and then set more goals. That's what you're trying to basically. That's what I'm getting at. What you talking
Yeah,
about
that's
with
what
the
I'm getting
units?
at. Mostly like a super high yield savings account, but it's volatile, meaning it goes up and down. But what are volatile things that are in our life? We have gas. Gas is volatile. Me and you used to know when gas was a certain price, and now it's the price that it is now. You might not get the same price of gas tomorrow that you'll get today or that you got yesterday. So you put that into the same perspective of Bitcoin. The same price now might not be tomorrow what it was yesterday. So that's why you want to accumulate as much now as possible. Anytime Bitcoin goes down, it's a blessing. You're getting more ownership. Anytime it goes up, you're getting less of the ownership. So
Yeah,
it works.
yeah. The other day I was posting about that. Like I say, when Bitcoin crashes, drops, goes down, I go on the internet and tell y'all to go buy Bitcoin. And when Bitcoin go up, I just go back on social media to tell y'all I told you to buy Bitcoin. So
I'm gonna tell you to keep buying it.
yeah,
We don't know what the lowest is, because right now is the lowest. Right now is the lowest that we'll ever see it, because our government is going to continuously print money. People don't understand that. Because people go to work. We go to work, we get a 2 week check, we pay our bills and our expenses, and we do it over again. We spend our time to get that income to do what? Pay our expenses.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you go to work and the government is over spending or over making money. So what is the point of you going to work? What is the value of you going to work if they're just printing this money out of thin air? That's just a simple question. Just a simple question. If you go to work and you produce something for 8 hours, but at the same time you only coming home made $150 a day, $200 a day, $300 a day, but at the Federal Reserve they just printed 1 trillion. What did you contribute for real?
Yeah.
But then at the same time, you still need to pay your bills. You still need to pay your taxes. You still need to do the dependent things. Still need to take care of your mama, your daddy, or anybody else around your family with the problems that go on. Still have to put gas in your car, food in your mouth. But then the government just printed another trillion the next day. That's how COVID was happening.
Yeah.
But now we're in the situation of now high prices for houses and everything else. When is it going to stop? It stops within Bitcoin because now you revert to where, and we'll get into it with the commercials. Bitcoin used to cost 30,000 Bitcoins back in 2012, but today, you could probably get a house for less than 5 Bitcoins.
Yeah. You said, yeah, a house used to cost like 30,000 Bitcoin, something like that. Now you could get it for a few Bitcoin,
A
and that's
few.
what and that's what I mean. Prices drop in Bitcoin terms. When I say stuff like that, that's what I mean. So your purchasing power is increasing, and like you were saying, I made this post the other day. You're not really working for money. You're working for purchasing power, and
Mhm.
Bitcoin preserves your purchasing power. So if I was say a Mexican peso is 10 pesos is worth $1, and you got $100, right? And if I give you 500 pesos, you got way more pesos. You see what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
you would want $100 instead because the $100 has more purchasing power than the Mexican pesos. It's not about the money you got or the amount you accumulate. It's about what you can purchase with that amount. And what Bitcoin does, it preserves your purchasing power. It preserves your energy. It's a protocol bounded by energy itself. You see what I'm saying? So you have to put effort into this system in order to benefit from the system. Either you
But
go to
not even
work.
that. Not even to cut you off. Not even that part because it goes into what you're saying right there. All the money that's going into it, from Mexican pesos to the USD to the Australian dollar to the British pound to the Venezuelan bolivar to the Japanese money to the Chinese money to the Russian money. All of that is money that I've never touched in my experience. But with not touching it, they're all buying Bitcoin. All right. So if they're all buying Bitcoin, that's a collective amount of money that's only going to make Bitcoin more expensive. I've never been to Russia. I don't think I'm going anytime soon. I've never been to Australia. I don't think I'm going anytime soon. But there's millionaires and billionaires in these places that's throwing cash into it. Royal families, companies. You know what I'm saying? And then me and
Yeah,
you still throwing money in
yeah,
it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
We throwing money in it aggressively, but we're not Fidelity. Me and you are not Steak and Shake.
yeah.
Me and you been buying at an aggressive rate, but Steak and Shake just opened and they probably made more transactions than me and you did since we
Ever,
probably started.
ever. Yeah, yeah.
Understand
That's
the magnitude of that. And guess what? We get paid for the transactions that they make.
yeah.
That's why
So
you want to get involved because we get paid from everyone else.
it's a network. It's a network, and when you join the network early, you benefit from the protocol faster and quicker. That's all it is. We're trying to
Right?
get you to benefit from the protocol, and the fact of the matter is, Bitcoin is not like a social media type network. It's a money network. So the reason we want you in, well, the reason we preach about being in now and early and before the money gets in, because it doesn't. I on Facebook can bring five of my friends to bring the network better. But if I bring five of my friends to the Bitcoin network, I just want them to get in early because one billionaire can bring $10 billion to this network, and it changes the game for everyone.
For
They
everyone.
move the numbers. It's a money network. It's not a friendship network, social media type network where, yeah, more people on Instagram, you need to be on Instagram. No. it's gonna be more money on this network, and that's where the value is gonna be accrued from. The more money, and you hear the big money talking, the governments talking about strategic reserves, countries buying it, hedge funds are owning it, uh, like people, different countries making it legal tender and calling it tax free and stuff. So they're they're gonna benefit and outgrow. Like it's gonna outpass you. And my biggest fear, this is why I tell you, man, I have a devil personality about this. I'll be like, yeah, I told you so, I told you so. But my biggest fear is that one day we're gonna wake up and it's gonna happen. Bitcoin gonna go from 150K, 200K to 2 million or $1 million, and it's gonna happen in like less than a month. And you're gonna be like, everybody is gonna be like, oh my god, what happened? And it's gonna be, that's when it's gonna be over for you.
But bro, it's already over because we are seeing. Remember when we talked about infrastructure? Let's go back into infrastructure.
Shout out
People
to
are so,
Jump Out Girls real quick. Sorry to interrupt and say we don't move
oh
the
yeah,
numbers like they do, and y'all exactly right with that one. We don't move the numbers like they do. Once they, we can put money in, but we can't just put billions of dollars in. We can't just make a decision like
you
BlackRock.
know my play. They put in 117 billion. I put in $117. That's all you get. Hey, look. We go bigger, but when you know, I am a very, very positive, jealous person to Michael Sled. But every time he put in $1 billion, I slam my phone because we want to use that money. We want to
Yeah,
use that unlimited money because now he's printing money out of thin air as well. Every time Bitcoin goes up, my boy making a bag, man. But like we said with the infrastructure, we got Dubai, we got these royal families, we have these countries, we got Bhutan, we have all these places making Bitcoin reserves and stuff like that. We have these places that are making these big, big mining corporations. Like we just said, we only spending a certain amount of our checks or the amount of money that we can put into it, but they're investing billions of dollars, not even into Bitcoin. Just imagine you put 20 million into Bitcoin. That's what me and you talk about all the time. They're putting it into warehouses. They putting it into machines. They
yeah.
haven't even received nothing back from it yet. So what is that telling us? That's telling us that we're early because if they're building the infrastructure now and they're going to be fighting for the last what 5%, 1% of Bitcoin for
Yeah,
the
it's
next
actually
100.
gonna be after 2030. It's gonna be 1%.
Oh, let's talk them numbers. You feel me? That's a big increase. That's a big change. That's a paradigm shift. And we just the small fish at the bottom. Like, oh, here go the casting net right here. Here go the casting net. You know, it's so much. It's we're so early. It's so much energy. It's so much infrastructure that's being built that hasn't even been put on the blockchain yet. That hasn't even been plugged into the grid yet. That hasn't even started going for the algorithm yet. It's not even other companies that's involved yet that has put it on their balance sheet. And me and you putting $117 when somebody buys 117 billion, or if somebody buys 330 billion, we putting in $330, or if somebody buys 33 million, we putting in $33 because we're trying to dollar cost average like a company. We don't have the amount of zeros they have, but we can match them at a certain level, just like with the units. I
and
might not be able to get point one, but I can get 0.0001.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
it doesn't matter if you don't have the zeros that they got too. Don't let that scare you because you benefit from them actually joining the Bitcoin network. So you actually accrue value as well. They just was in the traditional fiat system and they earn different money either by crook or by merit, but they're bringing it over to the fair system, which is the Bitcoin network, where everything is verified and not trusted. You know what I'm saying? So when you bring whatever you got from this crooked messed up system, which is a fiat system where they could just print the money to the fair system, you benefit anyway because the fair system can be verified. Even if they got a lot more than you that they're bringing to this, you still only trying to preserve your energy, your time, and your efforts that you created to make value. That's all that matters. When they put it over there, they just structuring stuff to make it more secure and safer for you. And that's why I say, man, you have like I used to tell people, you got to give up something small, buy some Bitcoin, give up coffee or give up some lunch. Don't go out for lunch. and just buy Bitcoin with that little dollars or whatever that you were spending on something stupid, and you could do that. You can manage yourself. But a lot of people, they normally sell their Bitcoin after they do that. They'll do that for a while, maybe buy $10 a week or something like that, and then like 2 years later, they'll run into some hardship or something that they believe is hardship or want to go on a vacation, and they'll sell out the Bitcoin. And what I want to tell you is, I used to tell people to do that now, but I think I got a new way. You need to structure your life in a way where you don't have to ever spend your Bitcoin. So you have to structure yourself and your life, get it together in a way where you don't have to go to this Bitcoin well, even if it is sitting up there and it's 100, and you got a full Bitcoin, it's 100,000. You got two Bitcoins, 200,000. You got to structure your life in a way where you don't have to touch that, and that'll help you better stack those units up, because people
Put
run
it in
into problems.
JP Morgan, what they doing, collateralize or get a loan on your Bitcoin. That was something that they have these places that's out there, like Celsius, they folded. You got other places like Sovereign that's out there. It's not the fact that we could trust them, but things have happened where you get a loan with these companies and they fall under, and now you're going through a lawsuit. And that's the difference between centralized and decentralized, guys. You have, if you're on a centralized platform, all your stuff can go away. Let's just get that out of the way. If they can get going, if you don't own your keys, you don't own your Bitcoin. But in a decentralized portion, and with the FDIC, if they're going to make these ways for a loan to come from JP Morgan or these companies, it's a way for you not to sell your Bitcoin, but to get some cash and put yourself in a better position. You could become your own bank. But do not, I repeat, do not, if you have not did your research, go on these centralized sites and give away your Bitcoin. Because if it's hacked or if something is that in that nature, you're burnt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy that how you say J.P. Morgan is jumping into the loaning and collateralizing Bitcoin asset, when Jamie Dimon, he's been on TV for the last 12, 13 years hating on Bitcoin, telling people it's only for criminals and stuff like that. Now you want to hold it and give me a loan against it? Yeah, all
Right.
right, bro. Like,
He said he'll fire my mama. Like real talk, had a meeting and everything. We're
yeah.
gonna fire my mama.
So yeah, he said he'll fire people for buying Bitcoin and everything. Yeah,
Right, real talk was gonna fire my mama.
yeah. So it's crazy. It's crazy that he coming on now saying, "Hey, let us hold your asset in that Bitcoin thing that I told you we was gonna fire all our employees if they brought any, and and I'll give you a loan against it. Why you want to hold something that's only used for criminals, or that's just what it is, dog crap or whatever y'all called it, you know?"
Internet money, just invisible internet money.
So actually, they see value in it, or either one, they're trying to see. It's like a four stages of adoption. They tell you that it's not going to work, and then I don't know the four stages, but you know how it is. First they hate on you, then they uh then they don't believe it, then they adopt it, and then they praise it or whatever. It's like four different
Mhm.
stages. So I don't know them all that clear, but if we let these big entities financialize this thing and use it in the way they want to use it, yeah, they'll pay you. If you somebody who got Bitcoin and you got stacks of it and you've been around, they gonna they gonna make you see who a real Bitcoiner is. You talk that talk, but they gonna make you see who you is. They gonna make you rich enough to be like, well, I had to do what I had to do for my family. I had to sell my Bitcoin. I can't stay on the Bitcoin still. I had to do what I had to do, man. I sold,
Wrong timing.
I,
It's the wrong timing.
yeah, I sold my Bitcoin, and then compromise the system. And you're gonna let them take over the system and own the majority of the Bitcoin. And they can't take over the system, but they can make it in a way where they don't give you the real Bitcoin. They hold the real Bitcoin, and you'll have to do everything synthetically through their networks. Like Facebook, you can't just start your own Facebook. You can't you can't use Facebook without Facebook. So that's kind of like what they'll do. Like, that's why I like Michael Saylor buying it, but I don't really like Michael Saylor owning, because he controls all those Bitcoins, and like, you can't force him to pay you in actual Bitcoin. You see what
Hmm.
I'm saying?
He can give you a note. He can give you a
Yeah,
promissory
they can
for
still
our
do that.
you
They can still do that stuff and hold the actual thing like they do gold. Like once they got gold off the gold standard, the notes used to say it's worth this amount in gold. Like the bills actually used to say it's worth this amount in silver. You could trade it in. But once they
and
put in this,
that's where we're headed. We gonna be back by the gold by the Bitcoin standard.
yeah,
It's top
but
notch.
Bitcoin is a monetary system. We don't need people to back us. We use our own Bitcoin and we use it to to ourselves. Like you know what I'm saying? We could buy and trade and barter. But what I believe they're gonna want to do, they're gonna want to use the stablecoin bill, back it by Bitcoin, and make you use their rails. Like rather than like use the Bitcoin.
The CBDC and
Yeah,
USDC, or they
Lightning.
gonna come up with a USA coin.
and it's it's like this 95% of the world is not on Bitcoin, but 95% of the Bitcoin has been mined. So 95% of the world don't know what Bitcoin actually is. They don't understand that it's a new monetary system. It's a payment system. It's a value holding system. They don't really understand that, and the cost of not understanding that is you're going to listen to a financial advisor that didn't tell you to buy Bitcoin for the last 15 years, tell you to buy Bitcoin in a way where it's compromising to your value that you're holding because you're not going to be able to
Why you
hold that hold
information like that?
huh
That's why you pay for information like that. It's
yeah
almost like a plumber that come in and fix your toilet. He charging you $500, and it took that man only probably 18 minutes to fix your toilet. You know what I'm saying? You be like, that's it. I gotta pay all that money, but you paying for that experience now. You know, you ain't want to deal with it before, but now that things done hit the fan, you need him to come clean up the you know what I'm saying, the situation. Same thing with Bitcoin. They gonna go that route. We've been trying to tell people forever. They don't need no financial advisor. We not giving financial advice. This is just education, but we've been telling people forever. But it's one of those situations they just not following it. They need to see somebody within that profession that's gonna tell them like this is the route to go. But at the same time, like I tell you, my full focus and my market is toward the women. We get these women on board, it's a wrap. We gonna be billionaires because women, they spend more money. They're the highest consumers of all time. They're the nurturers of the family, so they always buying things for the kids or think that the kids need these certain things. FTK. But at all times, you know what I'm saying, these women gonna do what they gotta do. And if they start using the transactions of these Bitcoin, we popping, bitch.
yeah yeah and they closer to the heart of the children, and I just believe that everybody requires this freedom. Like I think a lot of the problems in the world comes from people not being able to make a move right, like be able to think outside of their right nowness. Like, that's not even a word, but you know what I'm saying. They're not able to think from right now. They can't think in the future, and that's hard to do. It's hard to do when you ain't got nothing to eat and you got to worry about this bill, that bill, this bill, that bill, because you don't have time to look at a new monetary system. You don't have the time to educate yourself because it's really hard to really grasp the understanding of Bitcoin. And you think you just put it in there as an investment because you start to measure stuff in dollars and you don't measure it in Bitcoin. So that's the flaw that people have in them already. They're not measuring it in the right system. They're measuring it in the wrong system, and they just see it as something that's worth value. And that's what happens to a lot of things. Like everybody wish they had those old baseball cards or basketball cards of Michael Jordan or Emmett Smith that was signed and stuff. They don't appreciate those things because they don't have the wherewithal to look into the future. Like maybe this will be worth something one day, So let me keep this in pristine condition, and that's what Bitcoin is. You need to keep your Bitcoin in pristine condition, meaning in your hands, on your ledger, on your wallet, where nobody else can put their dirty hands on it, like the banks, and start giving you loans and stuff for your stuff. Now, mind you, they're gonna push the price up to make you quiver about selling your stuff. Like
Oh boy,
everybody's gonna be tested.
it look good now. I don't know, boy, it look good now. I'm holding it forever, but it look good now.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you ain't lying, boy. You be like, this ain't even, like you gotta look at it like this ain't even my Bitcoin. This for my grandchildren, dog. Like what
Bro,
I
this for
can't
my
I can't do them like that. You know what I'm
grandchildren.
saying? You be
This for my grandchildren. Well, we've been in this monetary system for how long?
yeah. And
In this over years.
I wanna talk about that commercial stuff you talking about. Like you're gonna be seeing new commercials pop up of Bitcoin products like you said with Coinbase and it's gonna create future adoption, and they're gonna you're gonna adopt crypto, but we want you to know the difference between crypto and Bitcoin. Those are two different things. Bitcoin is cryptography and technology to create money. Crypto is money using technology. You know what I'm saying? It's money
Mhm.
using technology so they can make money. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of the difference between those two. Bitcoin is the money, and crypto is using money to get money from other people. So it's just a business. Like more people in crypto is business people, and most of the time, the reason you see these crypto coins come out is because it costs so much to go into the free market and raise money. Like to like put a business out in the S&P 500, it costs $250,000 a year to be in the S&P 500. Not the S&P period, not the 500, just the S&P. It costs like $250,000 a year. So you got to pay that per year. Then you have to build your company up and actually be able to get into that. Like it's an initial fee too. So why would they do that when I could just say, "Hey, I got an idea. I'm gonna create a business that works with AI, and we're gonna do this. This the concept. I got 100 million coins. I'm gonna push them out there. They're worth $3 a piece. This this is the idea. Let me raise money, and I don't have to go to like a venture capitalist. I can just go to the streets. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I get that.
That's a lot of that's a lot, but they want that old money.
No, they just go into the streets with people. That's what crypto coins, mostly crypto coins is. That's what I'm explaining. Like they're creating the idea and they're going straight to the funding. And the funding is you. Like rather than like a company truly like Chipotle, they actually
Yeah, like
show
the ICOs back in the day. Remember when they used to have the ICO? They just used to access right then and there. You send it right to their coin.
yeah, so that's not really a like so you got to know what you're buying when you're talking about crypto versus Bitcoin. Bitcoin is money. It's preservation of value. These other places is ideas that they're going to ask you for money. Basically, they begging, bro. Like, be honest with you, them niggas
They
begging.
definitely be begging, but they definitely be begging. Send that money here, and then you be wondering the next quarter, the next other quarter, what's the updates, and they ain't sent nothing.
Yeah,
You burnt rub.
because it's just an idea. They haven't put in the footwork. You could go to up to a McDonald's. You can see. Oh, okay, this is a vibrant, valuable company to invest in. I can put my money into McDonald's, but McDonald's put in the work, and now they got stocks and shares like Facebook. You can see it's vibrant. There's so many ads on Facebook. You don't even get to see your friends on there no more. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
so like you can see that it's a business, but these other companies you can't see yet. So that I was just breaking down a little bit of what's the difference between crypto and Bitcoin itself. You know,
Yeah. The
but you were talking about the commercials of Coinbase, right?
Yeah, them commercials, man. I'm thinking about the adoption now. You know, a lot of our baby boomers and older people they love to watch TV. They can't or within the newspaper, but the 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 situations that they're bringing up that hit home to us as a younger generation, like how housing is, the prices of costs of inflation, we're starting to notice this and they're starting to see like now it's like, oh, this crypto is not like forex or all these other little type of money things, because it'd be like, boy, I look like a scammer every day when I post, because we like it'd be on Bitcoin or somebody DM trying to tell them about Bitcoin. It'd be like, your page done got hacked. Nah, that's me for real. Yeah,
Yeah. I when I first heard about you mining, right? Uh hold on, let me shout out to Coin Trader. Love the energy, keep it up, you guys. I appreciate you jumping in, showing some love to us, Coin.
appreciate you, bro,
I
bro.
like
On
that name too, Coin Trader. Yeah,
Trader.
I get it, I get it, I get it. Yeah, but
He can help us. I can't read the chart. I just know how to buy.
yeah, but I remember when shout out to 2 3 Drees. He told me, yeah, man, I got a buddy, man, because I was telling Drees like, you know how Bitcoiners is. It come out
Oh
you
yeah,
like you tell somebody to
three,
buy Bitcoin, and Drees is like, yeah, man, my homie told he mine Bitcoin, he do this. I was like, oh Lord, we got a miner and stuff he probably ain't really doing nothing. He probably doing something mining on the cell phone. But this guy had real miners in his house in the attic, like burnt like hot in there. He was the real deal, Holyfield, and I think Shannon energy is so good at his explanation and the way he breaks stuff down to me in our conversations. If I would have not been so cocky, like saying, "Oh man, that man just a minor," like I thought he was like all the other people that I done bumped into in my life, I think I would have a lot more Bitcoin because our conversation would have went a lot better. You know what I'm saying? I would have met you a little faster. After that conversation, bro, I ain't meet you until 2 years later. To be honest
oh
with
yeah,
you.
oh
So
yeah. You
think
told
about me and you talking the way we talk. And I would have been putting more pressure on myself because I'm thinking I'm dollar cost averaging. I'd have stepped it up a whole lot more. Just because I have somebody like you that look like me, that talk like me, that's from kind of like the same spot as me. And you jumped in ahead of me, and I'd be like, man, I gotta catch up. My dog telling me you know what I'm saying, this, and this. So I'd have been a little different. And I think you gotta put your just because people mention cryptos, just because people mention Bitcoin, you gotta give the right people the right time. Because if you don't, you can be blocking your blessings. And you don't
Mhm.
know who you're gonna meet that's really real deal. I know you run into a lot of scammers. I know it's but you just gotta filter that fast and quick and get it out the way. But you can't not meet people because of what your experiences of one person or a couple of people were.
And that's definitely what being in the consulting world you want to do. Like I done been through almost every app, almost
Mm-hmm.
every opportunity within the Bitcoin world to put us in a better position. I have, like I said, just have that helper mentality to help our community to be in a better situation. You know what I'm saying? But definitely, boy, if we would, and we in this position right now for our conversations because of you. So just going back and forth to get our flowers. Now, you know what I'm saying, teaming up. Now we about to make this official. Everybody that's joining in, you know what I'm saying, we're going to put ourselves in a position to be great. Dollar cost averaging and finding the resources that put us in a better position, financially to be free with more purchasing power. Like it's on and popping now.
Yeah. And if you watch it, man, you got any questions about anything in crypto or Bitcoin in general, that's what we like to talk about. But we do talk about other stuff. You can drop a question. I appreciate all the comments showing love and stuff. But yeah, drop a question if you want to. But I want to talk one more thing about these treasury companies. And I think this is going to be the scary part about the new crypto landscape. These treasury companies adopting the Bitcoin standard, like Michael Saylor, and they're putting Bitcoin on their treasury, and I think they're gonna fold faster than anybody because they're not doing. I don't think everybody that's gonna say that they're adopting Bitcoin. Yeah, it means a lot, and we all get excited that these different companies are putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet and they're holding Bitcoin. But those same companies, they are in the traditional world, and I think soon as shit hit the fan, they're gonna sell that Bitcoin and buy their shares back. You know what I'm saying? Because their shares of their company are gonna be more valuable to them in a sense because they're on that traditional stuff, the fiat thing.
Mm-hmm.
They already own those systems and those rails. So if the people don't really like these CEOs, you have to see how they talk about Bitcoin in order for you to actually understand where they're at with the Bitcoin. Like Michael Saylor, he talks very well, but even him at one point in time, he he dropped something that they can sell their Bitcoin. So they have an opportunity to sell their Bitcoin. He just so far ahead of everybody. He got so much runway. He might not have to sell it. So if these CEOs is not really living that living that El Salvador President Bukele lifestyle where it's Bitcoin and nothing else, then I would be weary of just celebrating these treasury companies if you want to invest in the companies because they're holding Bitcoin on the balance sheet. I would say forget that. Don't chase the just because they're doing something. Don't chase that. Just buy Bitcoin because
No, you just have to buy Bitcoin. Ignore the noise. Like,
yeah.
let's just ignore the noise and let's understand that these companies are bigger whales. All right, meaning that they can change the narrative at any time. Like we just talked about JP Morgan. That's a beneficial portion for us, but it's still they're holding your coins, they're doing certain things, but it's a play. You're clearing all your debt to become your own bank and things of that nature, and you could get your Bitcoin back. But let's be clear, these big companies have no interest other than making money. They didn't care about this coin, but now it's starting to make moves. Now the customers and clients are demanding it on a consumer level, like we spoken before, as a consumer, and they're just feeding the fish. It's just fattening up the fish. But at the same time, as a product and a consumer, they took it to a vertical integration level, and now they have it to where it's in their own ecosystem, and they put it on the balance sheets to make more money until it doesn't benefit them anymore. But that's probably another 100 years.
Yeah,
I'm
because having it on your balance sheet is beneficial. But people do stupid stuff in companies. Most companies don't last 100 years anyway. But so when people when they put it on their balance sheets and they make a mistake or they get sued for $100 million, they're gonna sell their Bitcoin because they got sued. Or if they do something stupid in business and they buy the wrong parts and piece, a car wreck or something like that, and they have it on their balance sheet, they're gonna sell their Bitcoin. So it's always a risk of selling the Bitcoin. So whatever they hold, if you're invested in a company, yeah, that's fine and dandy. But the true value is holding your own, owning your
mm,
own keys. No
having your
keys,
own
no
ownership,
cheese. No
having
keys,
your
no cheese. That's what we like to say. Yeah.
having your own ownership at all times. It needs to be that. But what about how do you feel as far as knowing that people should have their own keys and the responsibility of keeping those keys or any hardware? For example, the young man that has over $700 million in a landfill. That's why they have these central parties to save you from not losing your money, but they hold your keys. How do you feel about that coming from a community where if they don't understand it, they at least have some type of security, if that's the word,
if
or
if that
backup?
if that's the case and it gets you off zero, get off zero. You know what I'm saying? If somebody else can hold it and you off zero, but you got to understand that's a risk factor in itself. The guy that specifically to speak to him specifically, the guy that got the 700 million, he didn't respect what Bitcoin was because he I don't think he realized after Bitcoin went to $20,000 what it was worth. You see what I'm saying? But he didn't realize because he just had it on his computer. He didn't care. He didn't care. He was trying to make quick money probably back then, and just had some Bitcoin on his computer, and then threw the computer away because it wasn't making no moves. It was worth 2 or 3 cents. Now he remember. Oh, I used to do this Bitcoin thing, and now it's worth $10,000, $15,000 a coin. And now I want to find my computer in the landfill. Now it's worth $100,000 a coin. It's still in the landfill. I think he's just gonna have to eat that loss because he didn't show respect to Bitcoin itself.
It's somebody in Washington D.C. right now. It's somebody in Washington D.C. right now that has a Mac computer with at least two Bitcoins on it. He don't even know it. Stole it from out of the car. He don't even know it. It's on the Exodus wallet. I kid you not.
Oh, you talking about
It's
yours?
Yeah, me and my
Oh,
homeboy. Yeah, but
oh,
see, here goes the thing. My homeboy got into an accident, messed his head up. He don't know where he put the keywords because Exodus is an external wallet, so
yeah.
he can't get in there. But you know, if you would have been on the computer where you could just log in on the Exodus, you don't need the private key and stuff like that. Yeah, whole time it's on there,
Yeah,
but we
and
don't have.
and see, in
And
that
that's the
sense, like people who are not very tech savvy and responsible, I tell them the dollar cost average. I say you could do it right there on Cash App. You see what I'm saying? Like, so if you just want to buy Bitcoin just to get some of the appreciation or just to have some, just do it on Cash App. Even though that's a third party holding your Bitcoin, you're getting off zero in a sense. But once
I
you,
like that, getting off zero. Get
yeah,
your behind off zero. At least try. You know.
yeah. So so once you got it on Cash App or whatever, and it gets to be a significant amount, now you start investing into something like a ledger or treasure or different type of wallet. Like I use the iCoin wallet as well. Um, and then you could put your money on those things. And then now you understand this is five, 10, $15,000. I need to protect this better. You see what I'm saying? I need to, and then that's when you start protecting the words or the keys, and you give access to your wife. You and your wife be the only one with the access to it. Or you could do like a double sig where you can have the ledger, but you can't send nothing unless somebody else have the signature too. Like your wife, you have to have the double signature, or somebody else to have the double signature on that one. Now I haven't looked all the way into that yet, but you know, I'm thinking about doing something like that for my family. You know what I'm saying? Have the double sig.
Right. Nah, mine's up here in my brain. It's in other places, but I made it my business. Just
Yeah,
like how we used to remember all 50 states growing up, you remember your alphabets and things like that. I used to remember everybody's number as an emergency contact before the phones allowed us to store everything in there. I made it my business to know those words. You know what I'm saying? Just in case something happen, fire, water, you know, something get destroyed. As long as I know those words, I got access to
exactly.
what I
So
like.
it's all,
Make it your business. Make it teach it in a way that it's a song or it's your pledge of allegiance or something. Like
yeah,
you can remember
it got to be
your goal.
important to you, and
You gotta be
that whole thing about what you said, somebody else holding it for you or centralizing it for you, it 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 gives you the illusion that you can't take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you need
oh yeah,
somebody else.
oh yeah, but
You need somebody else to take care of you. No, you hold your own shit. You don't have nobody watching your kid. You know
right.
what I'm saying? You don't let them. Well, some people let people watch their kids, but saying like you ain't gonna let nobody feed you your food for you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be adult at some point in your life. You gotta be able to take care of all your own stuff. Like you just
Right.
gotta be
Treating it like a
man up or woman up and take care of your stuff. Keep your keys. You can't be like, oh, what if I lose it? You don't have protection all the time. Everybody ain't gonna be your insurance. You can't just say stuff like, "Oh, what if I lose it?" and things like that. You know what I'm saying? You just got to take care of it and keep it.
That's
Don't
the
lose
biggest
it.
thing we hear all the time. What if I lose it? Well, now you got to go third party. That's what I usually say. I can't. You know how you are. You're not gonna argue with nobody. I told you so. I told you what to do, and it's just more so. I'm not gonna argue. Well, go this route. Go Cash App or PayPal. You know, it's third party. And then when they say, "Oh, my Bitcoin got stolen," no, your Bitcoin is taken. It's not necessarily stolen. They gonna
They gonna lie to
cash.
you.
Yeah, so it's like Cash App had your Bitcoin taken away from you. If it was from you, they can't take it away from you unless they had your keywords. But because it's centralized, you know, whatever words that Cash App had, that's what they end up taking from you. So people have to understand and really separate that. It's
And
the centralized party that was robbed, not the decentralized possession.
yeah, and you run the risk of put giving your money to somebody, and they're not gonna pay you first. They're not gonna pay their debtors first. They're gonna pay their creditors. Who the creditors, the people who give them money to start the business, like the A1 shareholders and things like that. So if something happens to them, you don't get paid first. You get paid last, and you gave them the money. You the reason they got all the Bitcoin. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But
So never say Bitcoin got hacked. Bitcoin never gets hacked.
yeah,
It's the central third party that actually was hacked, and your possession of the Bitcoin was taken.
exactly. So You could be on those third party things all you want to, but I wouldn't recommend it. Recommend you just be an adult and take care of your own stuff. Like, say if you had $5,000, right, and you need to buy something the next day, you're not gonna give it to the bank, because once you give it to the bank, you can't even get it back the next $5,000 the next day. They gonna
Gotta
act
call
funny with you.
to get some money like that.
But you gotta just you just gotta take care of your own stuff. That's what it is, and that's just the way it is. Because these third party people, boy, they could be slimy. They could be FTX. They cannot even have the Bitcoin telling you they got it. It's just a number on their screen when you're dealing with that. When you have the Bitcoin, yeah, it's a number on the screen as well, but you have the ownership of it. Like, it's not nobody just telling you that through their setup or their program.
It's actually there. It's yours. It's your setup. It's your
Cause
keys.
you can move it and you can verify on the Bitcoin network. You can look at your wallet on the Bitcoin network, so you don't even have to worry about it. You can't verify the PayPal on the Bitcoin network. You can't see it. You buy it on PayPal, it's whatever they tell you they brought. You don't even know if they really brought it.
It's only the ID that they give you from that. Then you looking at that on the Explorer.
And one thing is, like I told you, Bitcoin may go from 100K to $800,000 one day. And why would you want people to know that how much Bitcoin you got anyway? If that happens, like, why would you want people to know that you got a half a Bitcoin on PayPal? They know what you got, and the minute you go to move it, they're gonna be like, "Oh, we can't move it for you right now. You can move a
Oh
certain
yeah, take
amount."
that, take that, take that. We got it tied up right now. That Bitcoin tied up right now in an investment.
Yeah,
Boy, I'm
now,
trying to get this.
yeah, now you in trouble. Now you got your pennies in a wad, and you like, "Dang, man, I really want to do something with this Bitcoin, but
You didn't tell
PayPal."
us 10 business days that you were coming.
And then the price dropped down 200K. Now you down 600. You can't, because you couldn't move it, because on Sunday night they ain't have no customer service, or they told you you ain't KYC. We don't got your address on file. Like, why
Mhm.
why would you put yourself through that? Because you can't keep up with your own stuff. You can't be
And
an
like we
adult.
said before,
You
that
can't.
defeats the purpose of what Bitcoin is for. I understand know your customer laws, KYC, and everything else, but that was the purpose of Bitcoin being created. It
Yeah,
literally was, but within that, I guess being protected and having certain avenues, they're just other resources, and they'll find a system. But at this point in time, no sir, no sir.
yeah. And I don't know if you all seen all these different laws that's been adopted. Just in Florida, because I'm in Florida. I know you're not in Florida, but you from this way. Uh, they adopted like house bills and things like that, saying that people can custody Bitcoin. Like, I think lien holders can have liens against your cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and things like that. And I think they also passed a bill that's saying that you could just trade gold. Supposed to come in 2026 in Florida. You could
Yep,
just
July 2026, gold and silver will be
you could
legal tender in
yeah
Florida.
yeah be legal tender in Florida. So you know,
So
and
all them
also
chains,
and
give them up.
federally they printed they also put the big better bill to print to increase the debt ceiling, and they're going to print $5 trillion. And the perspective that I want to put this in on anybody who's watching, $5 trillion was printed during COVID, and that's what you was talking about earlier, right? And during COVID times, Bitcoin dropped down to $4,000, a little bit under four, like 3,800, right? They decided to print $5 trillion. Bitcoin in 20 March of 2020 went from 3,800 to the next November of 2021 to $69,000. Bitcoin is at $105,000 today, and they just voted to print $5 trillion.
And the full market cap for Bitcoin isn't even 5 trillion. We at like 1.9, like 2 trillion right now. So
So
if they 5 trillion, if they just put that into Bitcoin, Bitcoin will be like $200,000 for one. That's just easy
no,
math right
bro,
there.
that's not gonna be 200. It's finna go crazy. It's gonna be like 350, folks.
$3.50 full. Yeah, that's a big number, man. That's a
Bruh,
big
it's finna go bonkers. And I just feel like if you don't hold assets, then you're not gonna keep up with anything because everything is going up. Inflation is normal to people. When everything technology is supposed to decrease prices, it's supposed to be deflationary. We print so much money, we cannot not have inflation. We cannot not have inflation. That's what
bro.
I'm
A
talking about.
McDonald's burger one day is gonna cost $10. Like we gonna be talking
One day,
just
McDonald's
like
burger cost $10 today. What are you
nah,
talking about?
I
Go get you
don't eat McDonald's.
go
I don't eat
go get you a
McDonald's.
Big Mac in New York. Ask if anybody from New York, California, where metropolitan cities, man, a Big Mac
Bro,
probably costs about.
Five Guys is a $10 burger.
Yeah, bro.
McDonald's serve no
We
$10 burger.
we country dog. We're a little outskirts of but in them big cities it costs $10 right now for the Big Mac. And I used to see a in the window
No,
for 99 cents as a kid.
there's no way. I'm not paying that. I'm not paying that. I'm not
Yeah,
paying that.
yeah, man.
It's
It's
not convenience anymore. Like that's not even fast food. That's gourmet food. Charging me $10 for a burger.
that's crazy.
You can go to
That
Longhorn or something like they'll give me a burger for $10.99. I would go there and you get a drink and fries. They tripping. They tripping.
shoot, Jump Out Girl say Five Guys is $20.
$20. Look, they need to go ahead and jump out this goddamn conversation. $20. We support the jump out girl, but Five Guys need to jump out. They need to start this conversation because $20 just for some. Luckily, I did culinary arts. I did 4 years of culinary arts in school, so I'm
Yeah,
certified in the kitchen. I don't even like it. That's probably why I don't even know why it costs that much. You
yeah,
should take that money and buy Bitcoin. Wasting money like that. That's atrocious. You know?
yeah. That's crazy. But my overall thing is, man, the reason I like to do this and I like to talk to Shannon about it because he kind of get it in the way I do. And shout out to my guy King from Gentlemen of Crypto. Like these
Shout
brothers,
out.
yeah, these brothers, they actually get it, and I like talking to people that get it like me and that got a heart like him, because he the guy that he can sit down and teach you, and talk to you, and me I have small just this much of patience like with people. It's like hard to explain something over and over so they can get something that help them. Like it's like, bro, you're not trying to get this, you know what I'm saying? But it's important, and it's important for everybody to achieve freedom that I think they'll be able to achieve from actually switching over to this new monetary system, which is called Bitcoin. Um, and I just think these conversations is important, and hopefully it helped y'all out, and hopefully y'all get enough courage to ask questions because we don't know what people won't answer. We don't know what y'all really want to know about. If it's just about making money, then we can talk to you about that because you can buy Bitcoin and sell Bitcoin, make money, and but you're not engaging into the right system and the freedom aspect of it. Yeah, you're gonna work forever for something that another man can print. That's just not how I want to roll. You know what I'm saying?
They'll start asking questions soon. We give shout outs to everybody that put in something in here, but within that, it still let us know that we're early and people don't know. They don't understand. Why put my money into something where my water bill is $100 and I have $100 of Bitcoin, and the next day it's $89. I'm calling the person that taught me about Bitcoin saying, you gonna help me pay this bill? But within that same $100, could turn into $137, and you pay that water bill, and you got $37 to make a meal that night and the next day. We're putting ourselves in a position for the future. Yeah, your stomach is touching, we talked about earlier today, but you found a way to make $1, and you found a way to turn $1 into $2. We can make that money turn into generational wealth. People think that they're behind, but they'll never be behind because these companies, royal families, and people like us that are dollar cost averaging on a weekly basis, daily basis, or in at a news basis are going to all put us in position to be better.
Yeah.
Just
And
one day at a time.
shout out Scott C from Las Vegas. He said he's from Las Vegas. Appreciate you jumping in. And I want to tell
Yeah,
you, man, like
West Coast.
if anybody told you not to buy Bitcoin and whatever price it was, if it was 20,000, 5,000, 10,000, 40,000, or whatever, you just do the subtraction, right? And go up to them and ask them will they give you the $55,000 that you missing out on, or the $80,000, or the $100,000 that way if you would have brought it, you would have today. And they all gonna tell you, no, I ain't got it. So don't take their stupid ass advice. and my and my thing, what you do is
With
you
that
do
enthusiasm, with that amount of enthusiasm, do not take that advice.
because like do your own research and don't trust, verify. That's what the Bitcoin way is. We don't trust nobody. Like if I tell you to do something, don't trust me. Go look up what I said about the gold. Like it's on the Florida bill. Like, you don't have to trust me just because I said it. You know what I'm saying? Like go look it up. It's coming. But don't trust. You verify. So that's all I'm saying. So get your freedom. We gonna go ahead. I think we're gonna shut it down unless you got something else that you want to talk about.
Nah, the only thing to talk about is y'all make sure you buy a dollar. At least buy a dollar. You know, put yourself in position and see what that dollar does in a year. If you don't like it, sell it.
Yeah,
But put yourself, like we said, jump off the porch and get off of zero. You need to get off of zero.
yeah,
Have some type of ownership. Get your units up and stack with us. Stack with me. Stack with Jake as we put ourselves in position within our community to say, "I told you so."
yeah. Hey, if we see you at the top, we'll see you there. If not, bye. Jake.